Hey guys, I just wanted to explain a little bit about how to read the JB4 map and things to look for, kind of help you be able to tune the car yourself to get the custom tuning, because each state is a little different. So here's some of the basics. You've got RPM over here, so of course that's going to be the RPM you're at. ECU PSI, that's going to be the PSI your car thinks it's at, and then across from that, so you're going to have target. And then right above target, you're going to have actual boost. So here we had 8.2 boost. The target was 2.9. It went a little over the target, and they hit 13. And then, of course, you have pedal, and that's what the pedal's at. And then down here, you have throttle. So that's what the actual car was responding to. So they put 35% pedal input. They got 42%. Intake air temperature, fuel ignition, wastegate duty cycle, and, of course, there's more. So down here, we've got fuel. So this is going to be fuel bias up here. So if 330 is 3,000, 3,500, so on and so forth. Now this will always start at 100 for each map. And of course you can go higher or you can go lower. You can go anywhere between 0 and 150. When you go higher, that's going to be leaner. When you go lower, that's going to be richer. So let's just say, for example, you're at 13 AFR and you want to get a little bit richer. So what you're going to do is you would drop this from 100 to 90 and you'll run it again. And you just do it you can just do it at the RPM. So if I'm at 13 AFR at 4,500, that's where I wanted to change it. I could go from 100 to 90, run it again, see what that does, and then so on and so forth until I hit the desired air fuel ratio. There's only two main ways to reduce or lean out the air fuel ratio. So either one, if you want to richen up the air fuel ratio, you can reduce the fuel bias. That's the first step. If that doesn't work, the next step is reducing the boost. So let's say I'm at a 0 fuel bias and I've kind of used all that up, and now I'm still a little leaner than I like. I'm at 13.5 or 14. What I would do is at that RPM, you're going to reduce the boost by 0.5. So if I'm running map 5, I know map 5 has no boost taper. So it's a 7 PSI at red line. So I might go to, I might reduce it to, do map 6, and I'm going to reduce it to 6.5 at red line. And I'm going to try that, and then I'm going to run it again, and so on and so forth until I get to my desired outcome. So now, an easier way to get this, to be able to read all of this, is to kind of separate just the metrics you want to see. So what you'll do is you'll click on the tab up here. And then now I've got this whole thing highlighted. And I don't need to see ECU PSI. So I'm going to click on this. Right click. And I'm going to delete. I don't need to see target. So I'm going to right click and delete. And this is pretty easy to do on the phone, because on the phone you can kind of just drag the computer. And of course I don't have a mouse, so this makes it a little more difficult for me. But okay, and I don't really care about pedal. And then I really care about throttle, boost, and air fuel ratio. So press shift and click, and now I've selected all of these columns, and I'm going to delete those. Okay, and now I'm going to go here, and where do I want? I want from here all the way to here. So I'm going to shift and click, and I'm going to delete those. Now everything's easy to read, so I know that the tuning doesn't kick in until 3,000 RPM. So I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and I'm going to look at this. Now mind you, it takes a second for the fuel to kick in, so a little bit lean at a low RPM is okay, because you don't have as much boost. So I know at 3,000 RPM, I was at 12, and I'm at 13.1. That looks fine. So it's in 500 increments. 3,500, we're at 13. 4,000, I'm at 12, that looks good. 4,500, 12.4, that also looks good. At 5,000, 12.3, that looks pretty good. And now we're going to scroll. Everything's looking good, looking good, looking good. Wait, 18. Whoa, 18. But look at this. The throttle is 20%. He's not on the gas. So if you see something like this where the AFR shoots up, that's okay. You gotta look at that. See? No, we're not on the gas. So 18, 17, don't worry about that. What we're worried about is a wide open throttle. 100. So 100, 100, 100. 12.9. So everything looks really good on this map. And of course, this might be a little leaner than we like. So what we would do here, if we want to get rid of the 12.9, we would go to 5,500. We'd probably drop it by half a pound to boost. And then we'll also drop it by half a pound to boost to 6,000. And that should clear that up. But that's basically how you do it. It's like I said, it's not hard. Another way to do it, of course, if you want to, if you don't want to see all this, is you can grab everything you want to see. So you can go all the way down here. Now, I want to see all these metrics. Shift, click, and then I could copy this into another, Word document or something of that nature where I don't have to see all these other metrics. It makes it a little easier to read, but this thing is pretty simple. So like, same thing. Let's say we're at 4,600, and for whatever reason, 12.4 was too rich for us. We want to be leaner. What we would do is we would raise the fuel bias. So if we're at 50 fuel bias, we're going to go to 60. And of course, this is just an example. 12. We wouldn't want to go leaner than the 12.4 there. That's a good number. So those are the basics. Of course, there's other metrics to look at in the JB4. There's a lot of other settings, but just a very simplistic view of it, so you could kind of do some of the adjusting yourself. Hopefully this helped. And of course, if you have any questions, reach out to me. But hopefully this helps out some of you guys to view this. And of course, you can do this on your phone. Normally there's a little slider on the phone version, and you can kind of just click and then slide and delete, just like this on the computer. It's very easy to do. And of course, this is a 93 octane tune, so there isn't a ton of room for us to play with, but we were still able to get a lot more boost out of the car, and the customer was really happy with how much power they ended up making. And this isn't actually even done, but yeah, so if you guys have any questions about anything relating to the JB4, just let me know. I'm happy to help you out. But hopefully this tutorial was helpful.